Good, happy Thursday evening, July 29, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Thursday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday evening, so let's begin and let's get started. First up, Biden ramps up vaccine efforts with federal mandate. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
When I walked away from a lucrative job as a fitness trainer, people thought I was crazy. I want to help others make that long-term transformational shift. Kajabi gives me...
We're going to begin tonight with President Biden's extraordinary new campaign to try to convince unvaccinated Americans to get their shots and help end this horrid pandemic once and for all. Well, the president today was really pleading with Americans to realize this is now an issue of life and death, saying that those who haven't had their shot are actually a danger to others. The president is also calling on Americans to follow the CDC's new guidance to wear those masks indoors in areas where COVID is spreading rapidly. And tonight, 70% of counties in the U.S. have that high or substantial COVID transmission. President Biden announcing tonight that the nation's largest employer, the federal government, is introducing strict new standards for the unvaccinated. The president says it is possible that COVID booster shots will be needed later, but he says not now. But Israel is actually starting to give a third dose to adults age 60 and up. That begins this weekend. Well, we've got team coverage of the pandemic, starting with CBS's Weijia Jiang at the White House. Good evening, Weijia.
Good evening, Nora. Less than 1 month ago on July 4th, President Biden declared independence from the virus. But tonight, he has a very different, dire message, calling the pandemic an American tragedy. And now he's hoping the private sector will follow his lead to end it. Today, President Biden called out vaccine holdouts and pleaded with them to change their minds.
If, in fact, you're unvaccinated, you present a problem to yourself, to your family, and to those with whom you work.
The Delta variant is driving the latest deadly surge, and so are the 100 million people who are eligible but remain unvaccinated.
Too many people are dying.
To reverse the trend, the president touted new incentives, like urging states to offer $100 to every newly vaccinated American.
I know the paying people to get vaccinated might sound unfair to folks who've gotten vaccinated already. But here's the deal. If incentives help us beat this virus, I believe we should use them.
He also announced that all civilian federal employees, plus contractors, will have to get vaccinated or get tested for COVID-19 weekly or twice a week. They'll be required to wear a mask, social distance, and might have official travel restricted. President Biden also directed the Defense Department to look into requiring vaccines for all service members. States like New York and California, along with a growing number of the country's biggest companies like Facebook, Google, and BlackRock, are taking matters into their own hands, requiring vaccination in order to return to work. More than 600 colleges are also mandating them for at least some students or employees, but young people are also among the most hesitant. A prominent pro-Trump youth group is fueling the fears over the vaccine.
We are not going to tolerate students to be forced to get the vaccine against their will.
The president said it's time to cut through the misinformation.
The vaccine was developed and authorized under a Republican administration. And it's been distributed and administered under a Democratic administration. Look, this is not about red states and blue states.
A White House official tells CBS News that those new requirements for federal workers go into effect immediately, but agencies will have some time to establish new vaccination and testing programs. Nora?
All right, Weijia Jiang, thank you.
The Hansons are going wherever the open road takes them, and no matter where they end up, they'll be about 10 minutes from a hotel by Wyndham.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Families call for a change 1 year after fatal Marine training accident. accident. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
Surged for a second straight quarter, up by an annual rate of 11.8%. All right, 1 year after 9 U.S. service members drowned in a training accident off California, families of the fallen are taking steps to make sure it never happens again. Nearly a dozen Marines, including a general, have been disciplined in the accident. And we get more on this now from CBS's David Martin.
These cell phone videos of doomed Marines crammed into an amphibious assault vehicle only last for seconds. They have no way of knowing that within hours, 9 will be dead, drowned when their vehicles sank off the coast of California. It's been a year, but at a press conference the families held today, their grief is still raw. Lance Corporal Chase Sweetwood was just 18.
Why is my son gone? Why was he not kept safe? He died the day before his 19th birthday.
The Marines had left the mothership in their tracked vehicle for a practice landing on San Clemente Island. Private First Class Brian Baltiera texted his father, "Our track started smoking."
It was the transmission.
Which was overheating?
Due to no transmission fluid in the vehicle.
The transmission failed, the engine quit, and the vehicle started taking on water. It took 45 minutes for help to arrive.
One of the boys who did survive did say, when I looked back, I saw Brian and his roommate praying.
The grief-stricken families today called on the Marine Corps not to assault vehicles back in the water until...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report.
Well, tonight, this news.
Whoops, sorry about that. Summer camps battle COVID-19 outbreaks. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
Diego, the fire aboard the USS Bonhomme Richard burned for more than 4 days. All right, this month the U.S. has seen a wave of COVID outbreaks linked to summer camps, and health officials fear it could be a preview of what's to come in the new school year. Well, CBS's Nikki Batiste has our in-depth report.
In rural Hudson, New York, where 67% of those 12 and up are fully vaccinated, news of a COVID outbreak at nearby Camp Pontiac has rattled the community.
By Monday, it was 23. By Wednesday, it was 31. They're all in the 7 to 11 age group, so they're, of course, unvaccinated.
Jack Mebb is public health director in Columbia County, where the camp is located.
What was your reaction?
Oh, crap. I can't say that, can I? I think that was pretty much our reaction. We haven't seen this.
This summer, outbreaks have been reported at camps around the country. In North Carolina, a camp outbreak is linked to at least 75 cases in 17 states. At Pontiac, almost all older campers and staff were fully vaccinated, and everyone was tested on the first day. Still, it wasn't enough.
COVID can get in there, whether it's the variant or not, despite everything that you do. And I think that's a harbinger for the schools come fall.
New this fall in Columbia County schools, funding for nurses to do rapid on-site testing. But protocols for cafeterias, athletics, and buses are up in the air as the county waits on guidance from New York State.
If buses still have to keep 6 feet or 3 feet between students, that's not going to allow us to bring all of our students back.
My granddaughter starts here in 5 weeks as a 5-year-old.
You worried about her?
Yes, I am.
A worry that will only grow as summer winds down and the...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Former cardinal charged with sexually assaulting a minor. Let's take a listen to that video from CBS News.
Well, tonight, this news. Disgraced Cardinal Theodore McCarrick has been charged with sexually assaulting a teenage boy in 1974. He is the first cardinal in the U.S. to be charged with a sexual crime against a minor. The 91-year-old McCarrick was defrocked by Pope Francis in 2019 after a Vatican investigation found that he had sexually molested children and adults.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now and let's go into weather. And here's a look at your weather this evening. Boston, 68 degrees. New York, 70 degrees. Washington, 74 degrees. Charlotte, 74 degrees. Atlanta, 73 degrees. Jacksonville, 75 degrees. Tampa, 78 degrees. And Miami, 80 degrees. New Orleans, 80 degrees. Houston, 80 degrees. Dallas, 80 degrees. Phoenix, 82 degrees. Los Angeles, 65 degrees. Las Vegas, 83 degrees. And San Francisco, 55 degrees. That is a look at the weather across the United States for this evening. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching and have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.